Worcester! Woo! It's our day. Gotta love them Beatles, right? Um, hey, so this is Mr. Sago, and I am here to introduce you to DLIHumanities 2.0. The intention of this screencastify is to give you an update to show you kind of where we're going to go this spring. Nothing's really definitive. I am still building some of this plane as we go. I've had some of these ideas mulling over in my head, and I wanted you to hear from me, parents as well as students, kind of what I'm thinking about. Before we get started, though, I kind of wanted to something that I'm going to try and do when I do one of these things, and I think you're doing it as an advisory. I'm going to give you one thing that I'm grateful for, or maybe three things, because it's just kind of pouring out of me. So one, I mentioned it in a video that is going to be coming through Flipgrid. Number one, I am really grateful to get back to a schedule that 2 weeks of break actually, given what was happening over break, there was a lot coming at me, right? So not only, becoming a virtual teacher, but then at the same time, a pandemic. So, some form of day-to-day schedule. As much as I tried to create one for myself, it would be nice to get back to that. Two, I'm grateful for a good cup of coffee in the morning. Oh, yes. So I do the French press thing. It's pretty great. And so I'm enjoying a nice fresh cup of Joe this morning. And then three, the Beatles, right? I think it's their 50th anniversary this year. So I know we didn't really get to celebrate in class. I try to play good music. I think it's good music on the way into class. And the kids give me suggestions. So no one had suggested the Beatles. And I thought that Good Day Sunshine, I am missing the sun. There is not a ton of it the past few days. So there's that. So I will be sharing this document with you shortly. And this is going to be a weekly endeavor. I believe you already know this through our processes with Mr. Burns, Dr. Martin, all of our kind of video chats with you. So our class now happens Tuesday and Friday for an hour at 2:05. The intention there is, some of it's going to be synchronous, some of it's going to be asynchronous. The difference being, and maybe this has already been clarified, synchronous is everybody's together. Asynchronous is you're doing your own thing. So I'm going to show you a couple of the different opportunities, the different pathways that I kind of mentioned. Right. I'm going to do this one. Yeah, cool. So right over here, we're kind of going on two different paths. I've been putting out there this idea of an emotion tutorial. So I'm gonna end with that. I think what's most pressing right now is I'm flipping the routine question reflections. So what they were was a great sounding board for getting some of your ideas out there. Of late, we had been processing what am I paying attention to based on the attentions merchants work that we had done. For this one, we're mirroring, I've added a lot of the key items from what we were doing before, but I want to show you how it's changing a bit. So every week, I want us to come to this idea that you are living in an unprecedented time, right? It's been about 100 years since we had a virus pandemic to this scale and magnitude, and you are our primary research, primary document creators. that no matter how much news and video stuff is created at this time, people are going to need journals to read in the future, or at least I hope. So our end goal is to create a permanent record of personal experiences with this global pandemic. And so I don't, well, I do and I don't care too much about what you decide to do. So, like, it could be about your personal experience, it could be your family. Maybe it's a conversation at dinner once a week. Maybe it's something that's happening in your hometown. Obviously, given how many students are in our class, as well as the breadth of where we're coming from, um, you might be experiencing something that I'm not experiencing, or somebody else may not be experiencing. So make sure you're dating it. Make sure you're putting, the relevant information about when these things happened. And the goal is to create like almost like a series, like an episode by episode experience of what's been going on for you in your world. And so this week, my expectation is you're going to do one of these. Okay. I reference down here, down at the bottom, that, I have my own recording history. I'll give you a little preemptive, show and tell of sorts. So here's what I'm working with. Holy cow. So, and I've tried to throw in some positivity stuff. Like, I saw this very funny thing called "Where's Waldo?" the coronavirus edition. Um, I'll click on it. Why not? He's social distancing. He's very great at that. So where's Waldo? And he's on the beach. So anyway, so I thought that would be fun to include in a journal like this, because obviously that's a fun tale. But what I've been doing over break and over the past 3 weeks is I've been taking pictures of my experiences. I watched a lot of Netflix, like many of you, I'm sure. So I watched The Other Guys, and this quote resonated with me. "You can't keep me cooped up in here. Okay, I'm a peacock. You got to let me fly." So yeah, part of it is I'm feeling the cabin fever. What's that like? So I was going to go into the new meeting, the leaders on our screens. This is Mr. Burns' talk last Thursday. New and improved. Yeah, if you didn't notice, I shaved. And then I'm also doing some things in my apartment to pass the time. I actually moved my entire apartment around. Go figure. I've had a lot of meetings. This is my family. Hi, family. This is my little cousin and I reading Harry Potter. Oh, that was so fun. We'll probably be doing that in the future. He's in 5th grade, and doing virtual learning. And then this is actually some of my college friends. So we had a college hangout a few weeks ago just to say hi to everybody. And we were supposed to get together. So you'll see that in the flip grid as well. But then, like, if I come back over here, I'm going to try and shorten this video a little bit. So if we come over here, we're also going down a tutorial about emotion. And it's something that we've been processing a bit through our psychological lens of the year, kind of our ethos, as well as kind of at our core, call it enlightenment, whatever it may be. But my question for you, and something that I want you to be thinking about this week, is which emotions do you think most influence human behavior and the ways that we interact with each other? Why may it be useful to think about that? And as we, again, I'm still somewhat developing this. I've done something like this in the past. These were the original ones. This comes from Crash Course Psychology, I want to say, as well as this one. But the goal is within your Flipgrid activity. I've already kind of identified this for you. It's right here at the bottom, student checklist, Flipgrid. If you go here, click it, bam, it'll give you login with Google. I've got 2 different Googles. You go, bam, and here's our DLIHumanities Flipgrid. There's the question, and I have replied. So anyway, the goal is this week you're going to video record a Flipgrid on your own, and then you're also going to respond to somebody's Flipgrid, right? Maybe somebody who resonated with you, maybe somebody who connected or maybe somebody who, whoa, I don't remember feeling that at all this break. And then that way you can truly kind of connect with humans, humans from our class. So that's at the bottom of this document that you're about to get. All right, lastly, emotions tutorial. This is going to be at least until what would have been. Oh, and I've given you a bunch of resources here if you really want to get jump in. All different types of TED Talks and things of that nature. This is more of that asynchronous learning that each one of you can go on your own path, right? That's part of why we're doing it this way. All right. But yeah, so what was I thinking about? Coffee break. That's what I was thinking about. All right. So coming back to our week. Oh, that's what it was. So on Tuesday, my goal is that you will have watched this Screencastify. I'm going to be adding that link right here. Bam. I'm guessing it'll probably be a YouTube video. Still figuring out all of these virtual things. And then Tuesday, we're going to have a synchronous meeting after that to kind of talk through like, hey, what questions are there, right? The goal is that by Friday, you will have both done a recorded history journal, right? Here's what's happening with COVID-19. Here's my experience through it. And then also here were the emotions that I felt in a Flipgrid, right? So by Thursday evening, by Friday, I kind of want to see that everybody's done a Flipgrid. Going into Friday, that will be enough time for you to do a recording history thing. And then come Thursday or Friday, when we have our second meeting, we did watch movies and activity, probably more than just this one. But we've watched some videos, some movies, and also 2 episodes of Mad Men. Student selected. So I'm going to be, I've already created the meetings. Many of you have already responded yes. But in there, you're going to be talking it out with your group mates. I have 2 meetings that are going on simultaneously. So I'm going to have one of you muted and one of you not muted. And then that way I can just hear that, yeah, you watched the movie and have gotten something from it. I know I watched it Inside Out, partly because of this emotions tutorial, but there's a lot of emotion in all of these videos and or series. So I think that you will have good fodder for that emotions tutorial. All right, so here's where I'm going to leave you. If there are any questions, don't be afraid to reach out to me at all. I do have office hours, and I put during free periods. So if you have a free period and you would like to meet with me, you can set that up. It's not, my day is weird. Admissions is still going to be rolling, so I've got to do some work on how do I do both. So if I have some free time and you'd like to speak to me during that time, reach out, okay? But these are the 2 places where we can meet during office hours. Just let me know that you would like to meet because I'm not necessarily going to have it open, all right? I hope you have a wonderful day. This is my first Screencastify, so go easy on me. And yeah, good day.